Hey everyone, what is going on? And welcome to the Sinnoh Cup in the Open Great League. I'm so excited to be back in the Great League, let me tell you guys. So we are playing in the Sinnoh Cup, and this team did really well for me. I had a 5-0 and 3-3-2s. One of the 3-2s would have been a 4-1, but I lagged. It happens. What can you do? But this team worked out so well. I also had an 0-5, but it wasn't with this team. I was experimenting with other Pokemon, so definitely unfortunate there. But this team worked great. Drifblim in the lead with Empoleon and Toxicroak in the back. As I say, fantastic team. I do want to try out the same team but with Empoleon in the lead as well. But either way, worked out fantastic. Let's go ahead and dive right into the battles. We do see a Gliscor come in. So the thing is, Sludge Bomb actually does a lot to Gliscor. Look how much that's resisted and actually does a lot. We're going to see another one. This Toxicroak absolutely going off. We're going to see another Sludge Bomb, and that will get the shield. Very nice. You'll love to see it. They're going to be able to farm down. Okay. So we're going to bring in Drifblim, and they bring in Bashiodon. I bring in Empoleon. So this is going to be a GG's. We're just going to get to the Hydro Cannon. Just going to go ahead and go for it right now. So we're going to be doing a lot of damage to this Bashiodon. Not enough to warrant the shield. Totally fine. I do shield this. I don't have to. I mean, I could take that Flamethrower, but I figure at this point it doesn't really matter. I go ahead and shield so I can farm down and go for a Hydro Cannon against the Gliscor that comes in. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to go ahead and go for the Hydro Cannon. So this is going to get that shield that would have KO'd if it didn't. And they're going to go ahead and go for an attack. I was about to say I'm going to let this go, but I have no choice because I have no shields. But that's totally fine. We're going to bring in the Drifblim and just go for the Icy Wind and KO this Gliscor. And that is going to be a GG's. So well played to my opponent there. Very well played. Let me know which cup. Let me know how your Sinnoh Cup day began. I'm sure most of us are playing the Sinnoh Cup at least initially. But next up we have a Frostlass. I don't like this matchup. This is actually pretty bad. I think I try and catch an Avalanche, but I think I was a little bit too soon. I don't know. But either way, they're going to throw an attack. I know it's going to be a Shadow Ball. So I do go ahead and shield it. Yeah, definitely not a great matchup for me. But they do bring in Gastrodon. Okay, so I'll be honest, I know Gastrodon is getting a lot of hype. I wasn't really too impressed with it, to be honest. I did try it out in that set I went 0-5 in. And as you can see, like, we do a lot of damage with Empoleon. We could actually take Switch if I wanted to take Switch. I could shield this. I'm just going to let it go though. And we're going to bring in Drifblim and farm down because if you remember, they actually threw an attack. They threw a Shadow Ball, so that should be energy dry. I'm gonna go ahead and bait the Icy Wind here. I thought this was definitely gonna get a shield. My opponent actually calls it, so huge shout out to my opponent. I'm gonna go for another one. They know this is gonna be just an Icy Wind, most likely, and they don't shield it. So at this point, yeah, they get off an attack. I let it go. At this point, I'm just going to rely on Toxicroak with one shield to win the game. I don't know what's in the back, and they actually bring in Empoleon, so I'm like, yes, that's going to get me a win. Yeah, because we could just safely farm down. Toxicroak has been amazing for you in all the sets I've done, to be honest. Yeah, it does really well. I love Toxicroak on this team. I like it more than Lucario. If I had Lucario, we would have been double weak to fighting. I like having the Toxicroak, honestly. And Lucario is definitely good, but I do prefer the Toxicroak, at least on this team. Of course, we're double weak to the Gastrodon, but again, I wasn't really too impressed with it, I'll be honest. So the Drifblim mirror match, how I've been playing this, I just go straight Icy Wind. I don't bait. Yeah, they survive an Icy Wind, so they actually don't have to shield this, knowing it's an Icy Wind. But we still get shields not all the time, but we still get the shield there. So they snuck a move in, and now I sneak a move in, so we're tied on energy again. I'm going to go ahead and shield. It's actually a Shadow Ball, so very good for me. We'll go for the Icy Wind right now. So we'll see if they decide to shield this one up. They do not, so that goes down. Very nice for me. In comes Munchlax. I'm going to go ahead and switch into Empoleon. A little bit slow in the switch, but we're able to get in here just fine. They do go for an attack. I thought it was going to be Bulldoze, but I decided not to shield it. I'm able to survive it, so we're able to get off a Hydro Cannon. They actually switch into Empoleon. And that was actually totally fine with me because we have a Toxicroak in the back, which we'll be able to farm this down. We'll have to commit a shield, but we'll be able to farm this down. I actually bring in Drifblim here. I think the reason I brought in Drifblim is because I knew Drifblim really didn't have a great matchup against Munchlax. I mean, the Icy Wind could have debuffed it. They do farm me down. I think I wanted them to also throw that attack against Drifblim. I feel like I should have brought in Toxicroak straight away instead of bringing in Driftbloom, though, because I allowed them to possibly get to 2 moves. They don't get to 2 moves, but they possibly could have. It's not going to ultimately matter, but I feel like I should have put in the Toxicroak. But that's okay. We do get off this Sludge Bomb. That's going to KO the Munchlax, and that is going to be a good game. Very well played to my opponent there. And let's go ahead and move into the next battle. So it's going to be Driftbloom into Magnet Zone. So definitely a really bad matchup, and we really don't have a safe swap here because Empoleon doesn't want to see this either. So I go to Empoleon anyway, and they bring in Toxicroak. So this is actually good because here's the thing. Like, Empoleon is going to lose this matchup, but it's going to force a shield as well, right? So they do force a shield, and they're going to be able to commit to the farm down, which is not great. But we're going to, or at least I thought at the time we would be able to farm down with Driftbloom. Now, little did I know that the Sludge Bombs still do a lot of damage to Driftbloom, so I'm still going to have to shield one of the Sludge Bombs. We'll take the first one. That's when I realized it did way too much damage. So I'm going to be able to farm down, but I do have to commit a shield. And to me, it's definitely worth it because Magnezone really cannot take a Sludge Bomb, right? Or a Shadow Ball, not a Sludge Bomb. It can't take a Shadow Ball, right? A Shadow Magnezone. So I knew I was going to get the last shield or KO that thing. So we do go for the Shadow Ball. They actually don't shield. So they're going to let that go. So much damage. In comes Gastrodon. We're going to go ahead and go for these Icy Wind attacks just to debuff it. We're heavily resisting Body Slam, Mud Slap. We can go for multiple Icy Winds. I knew the game was over at this point because Toxicroak could just count it down if they don't shield, which they don't. And we're trying to get to another one. They actually have to throw. Now, here's the thing. We actually don't get KO'd from the Body Slam because we double resist it, plus they're double debuffed. But I'm just going to switch out into Toxicroak and farm down. And that is going to be a good game to my opponent. Very well played. So yeah, well played. And we're going to go ahead and move into the final game of the video. We do have 5 battles for you, the 5-0. So it's going to be Driftbloom into Driftbloom. So we have a mirror match. Again, not really too crazy about the mirror match. I don't really like it, but we just go Icy Wind right now. They do sneak a move in, which is not good, but we'll go for the Icy Wind. I think this trainer calls it. Yeah, well, not really calls it. They knew it was an Icy Wind because I didn't farm out. But we do sneak in a Hex as well. I'm going to go ahead and shield this. I think I wanted to shield and farm down. But I realized I wasn't going to be able to farm down before they get to an Icy Wind, and they actually catch on Empoleon, so that was a great catch by them. So we're going to be able to switch into Toxicroak. So I could farm down here, but I'm actually going to throw the Mud Bomb, because if I go for the farm down, I will have to commit my final shield. So I do go for the Mud Bomb here. They actually shield it so they can get off their attack, so well played there. So they're going to be able to get off their attack. I just let it go. I know it's going to KO me, but that's totally fine. I decided to bring in Empoleon so I could farm down, and I'm barely able to farm down before they get off an attack. Very nice. So we have a lot of energy. So let's see what decides to come in. It's gonna be a Lucario, so I'm just gonna throw the Hydro Cannon immediately. And again, Lucario needs to shield. So we're trying to switch out. Wasn't able to switch out right away, but we do get out in time. And they're gonna go ahead and throw an attack. Do I let this go or do I shield it? I shield it. Okay, it's a Shadow Ball, so pretty good shield by me. And they're gonna bring in Driftbloom and go for an attack. And I knew this was gonna happen. So they're gonna be able to KO. Actually, it doesn't KO. I kind of wish it did KO. I actually farmed them down and go for the Shadow Ball. But what I was going to do is, if that KO'd me, I would have brought in Empoleon, farm down, and go for a Hydro Cannon against the Lucario, and most likely won anyway. But I ended up winning with Driftbloom. So I would have been able to win that even if that Driftbloom was able to KO me, I believe. But either way, that's going to be a 5-0, and that is going to be a great set. Again, let me know how your Sinnoh Cup battles are going and what team are you using. We do pick up a Heatran as well, which is pretty cool. Anyway, I will see you all in the next one. Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.